This will be recorded as well, so if you're ever not able to make any of the workshops, we record every single workshop and we post it on our YouTube channel. So at any point, if you can't make one, we will do everything for you to look at and review, and as always, we're around to you about anything. Hopefully the microphone won't play up anymore. So thanks for coming today. Every single half term, we will send out a parent survey. Okay? We send out a staff survey, and we do a student survey. And the questions, the questions, whilst phrased differently, are pretty much the same. Okay? And then what we do as a result of each survey is we transparently feed back to whoever's completed the survey, and we tell you what we're going to prioritise based on your feedback for the next 6 weeks. And then we will do another survey, and as a result of that survey, we'll hold another happy meet for you, and we'll tell you the outcomes of what we promised to do now when we meet you again in November. Okay? And hopefully we'll be able to bring some students along to tell you what they've benefited from what we've done. Okay? As well as relevant. And every 6 to 8 weeks we repeat the cycle so that we show we're getting even better, because it's important the views of you, the staff and the students. Okay? Now I know this survey was very, very early. Okay, really early, and lots of the feedback I read said it's too early to make a decision, which is fine, because what we're doing is we're baselining everything in the school. Okay? And what I will do is I guarantee you I read every single comment, and I analyse the comments and collate the comments, and that's what you're going to see today. Okay? If you want to discuss this further, you are more than welcome to. As with all workshops, we've built time into our mornings so we don't run off to teach or anything like that. We can be around with you to answer any questions you have. Whether it's linked to the survey or nothing to do with the survey, we will be here and you can talk to us. So staff, student and parent voice will be part of everything we do, all the way through. And what I'm going to share with you today is really just the headlines of what we were told from you, and also the colleagues at the front who are joining us will tell you what we're going to do in the next 6 to 8 weeks as a result of what you've told us. Okay? And in November, as I said earlier, we'll come back together and we'll show you the outcomes or the impact of what we've done as a result of what you've said. So hopefully it all makes sense. It'll be a continual cycle all the way through. So, let's start us off then. So these are the number of people who responded. Now we ask you to respond for every child you have, which is a pain. I know if you've got 3 or 4 children, it takes a little bit of time, but it's really important because we need to identify the specific year groups that you're saying whatever you're saying about. Our staff all have appraisals. One of the targets in the appraisals is about you. Okay? And us responding to what you ask us to do. So it's important we can identify exactly which year group you're talking about, so we can make a difference to that child in that year group. Okay? It is purely anonymous, so when someone says something that is an issue, we can't deal individually with that family because we don't know who it is, but we try and support whichever part of the school we're working on. So, our first response were 145 responses, okay? Which, again, we're looking to improve on, because the more people who respond, the more accurate the data. So, when you go and speak to your friends and your relatives who are involved in the school, please ask them next time when we do the survey to complete it. The more data, the better, okay? The better picture. So, and you can see at the bottom how many people have responded from each key stage. So, key stage 3 are year 7 and 8 students. The percentages are a little bit distorted because there's less replies. But that again represents there's less students in year 7 and 8 than other parts of the school. Okay? And these are some of the headlines. So the first one was the question. This is the one we ask everyone. Okay? I will repeatedly ask you. We repeatedly ask the staff. There's no, in my opinion, there's no better representation of a school than staff in the school choosing to put their own children in that school. Okay? So whether the staff have children or not, would they recommend our school? And the same with the children. If a child's in our school, would they tell a friend to come and join us? That's the most important question. because it sort of captures everything about every other question in one go. So as you can see, all I've done, in this case there's no neutral, it's either yes or no. Okay, and again, the percentages of no, we are looking into the year groups and trying to work out what we can do to improve. Overall, 95% of the people who completed the survey said they would recommend it. And this is the benchmark for the school. So next time, my challenge to the staff is 96, 97, 98, 99, 100%. Okay? Which becomes a challenge as people become more established in the school and realise or think of things that we can do to make it even better. But that's the goal we set ourselves. And it's really important to have that high bar. So that's the first question. Is my child happy? Right, in a school as a leader I have 3 jobs. To keep your children safe, to keep your children happy, and to help them learn. It's as simple as that. So they're the 3 things we look at next. So again, overall, 99%, as you can see. So again, the bar's set very high. We need to aim to continue that standard and identify the 1% who we need to work with to try and help them. Does my child do well? Yeah, you're paying us to educate your children, so that's a really important question. And this is where we are at the moment, 99%. Okay. The school makes sure its pupils are behaved well. We put a lot of energy into systems and routines. Okay. And the outcomes on this survey are very positive, but we don't rest. Repeatedly, we're working with staff on transition, basically, how we can move our students around the building more effectively. Okay, so we're continually working on this. And our behaviour and reward system is very transparent. Okay, we are working hard with the staff, so you'll soon, through Phoenix, be receiving e-certificates for your children and e-gems of the lesson. Okay, and that will be communicated to you through the newsletters in Cecil. School has high expectations again. Okay, so this is a feedback from that. 97% overall. So we need to continue those high expectations for everyone. School makes me aware of what my child will learn during the year. So this was one of the areas that we're going to talk about in a minute. Okay? It's very clear from reading the surveys that you've given me, we've gone through that new school process where the systems, the routines, how you come into the building, how you leave the building, how you collect your child, how you tell us when they're unwell. We've gone past that now. We're at the point where you're telling us quite clearly in this survey, you want to know what your children are learning, and you want to know if they're learning it well. Okay? That's the survey outcomes that jumped out to me. And the individual comments match very much the buttons you clicked for if you strongly agreed or disagreed, okay? So this is one of the areas that we looked at and we've looked very closely at over the last week or so since you completed the survey. And then, this is the second part, as I said, how well your child is doing. So the 2 things that jumped out to us really clearly was curriculum, what are they learning, and how are they actually doing? How do I know how they're doing? How can I speak to people who teach them to know how they're doing? Okay? So this is the overall headlines from a combination of the comments you gave us and also the strongly agree or disagree that you filled in. Okay? There were a lot of neutral comments in lots of the sections because, quite frankly, you told me it's too early to judge. And I don't disagree with you in some of the areas. So, top strengths, the whole school. Relationships, children happy, smiley, friendly staff. That came out very strongly. Okay? Quality of teaching and learning. My child's doing really well, settled into school, happy with their learning, happy with their teacher. Teacher's doing a really good job. That was the sort of comment for that one. The facilities came out strongly as well. Okay? The forest school, the sports halls, all the facilities we have. Communication particularly about the logistics and organisation, okay, of opening a school. So a lot of the communication was how we explained how the school opened and the induction part of that journey of everyone joining us. And then finally the curriculum. A lot of nice comments about the curriculum, entrepreneurship, forest schools, those sort of things. Okay? So they were the compliments that we received. Obviously the areas for development. So as I've said to you, and I'll repeatedly say to you, and the staff will tell you what we're going to do about it, what became really clear is curriculum communication. What my child is learning and how I know if they're making progress. Okay? They were the two things that jumped out. Parking, and whether that was parking or buses, I'm not sure. I think it was a combination of the two nasty things I have to deal with all day, every day. We are working with the buses, and I haven't put anything on buses in here because we are continually working with the buses. We still have only about 35% of our students using buses, okay? The analysis I looked at when we opened the school, typically a school in this area, based on general schools around here, we were expecting a region of 45 to 55% of students to travel by bus, okay? Now at the moment I know, and I've been told,